got some real estate here in my bag. Counting the cars on the New Jersey Turnpike, they've all come to look for America.
Simon and Garfunkel providing the soundtrack for an otherwise wordless new ad for Senator Bernie Sanders. But can Sanders harmonize with the voters of Iowa and New Hampshire? That's the real question heading into this final week of campaigning, especially in Iowa, where the latest CNN poll shows Sanders leading Clinton 51 to 43%. It's a very exciting race on both sides. And with me to share their giddy enthusiasm, Kevin Madden, a former senior advisor to Mitt Romney, Donna Brazile, a vice chairwoman of the Democratic National Committee who is supporting Hillary Clinton.
No.
You're not officially supporting Hillary Clinton?
No.
I apologize.
Sorry.
All right. Amanda Carpenter, former communications director for Ted Cruz, and Bill Press, host of the Bill Press Show. You are supporting Bernie Sanders, though. That's fair to say.
Supporting the Democratic nominee. I sort of like Donna. I think I like Bernie. I encouraged him to run, but I have not endorsed anybody.
Okay, you've not endorsed anyone. Glad we got all the cards on the table. Let's start with this race. With just 1 week to go, Sanders has moved away ahead of Clinton in this poll. But if you only count the people who voted in the Iowa caucus in 2008, Hillary beats Sanders.
Right.
What does Hillary Clinton need to do to win Iowa, which she was not able to do in 2008?
Finish strong. I think the Des Moines Register poll might help her. 8 years ago, they endorsed her. It gave a 1% boost, but 1% in a close race is very, very important. She has to make sure that not just the regular caucus scores, but some of the new people who might be inclined to support Senator Sanders are also able to give her a second look. Once they get into the caucus, hear from the three candidates, I think it will give her an opportunity to finish strong. When I say I'm not supporting Hillary or Bernie, it's because I am vice chair of the party, so I have to remain neutral.
Right.
And I'm on the Rules Committee. And there's something about the rules this year that I think all of the candidates should know. Veterans, some of the Democrats abroad, and others will be able to participate. That's also a new wrinkle, I think, for some of the candidates to figure out how to reach out to them to ensure that they get the kind of turnout they need.
Important for organization. Now,
Yep.
Bill, you were out there pushing Bernie to run back when Democrats thought that Hillary Clinton had this thing locked up. Why did you think he had such potential?
Because, well, first of all, I just thought there should be I love a healthy primary.
Sure.
I mean, for either party. And I didn't want to see any coronation. I don't think it's good for Hillary. I don't think it's good for the party. And I think Bernie had some great ideas, which I, as a progressive, really agree with. So he came to me and said, I'm thinking about running. I said, I think you ought to do it. I think it'd be good for the country, good for the party. And I think all of us missed, in fact, I think even Bernie would admit that he missed, is the level of frustration and disappointment and even anger at the political establishment and politics as usual. And Bernie has tapped into that to an unbelievable degree.
Do you agree with Donna that the Des Moines Register poll can give Hillary Clinton a boost? Because some of your friends on the Cruz campaign were out there tweeting, hey, look, the Des Moines Register endorsed Marco Rubio, but it might work differently for Democratic voters.
Well, sure. I mean, endorsements are good if you have someone from the Des Moines Register, which is well respected and probably more credible among Democrats. You wouldn't turn that down. Do I think it will move the needle for Hillary? I'm not sure, because I just don't see her cultivating that kind of grassroots support that is important to candidates on both sides of the aisle this election.
You know, I say, Jake, if I can, I think for Bernie would be is happier with the MoveOn.org endorsement, which is really people on the ground, than the Des Moines Register. What does a newspaper endorsement mean anymore today?
Let me ask you, Kevin. Sanders out there taking on very aggressively this idea that Hillary is more electable than he is. And he goes out there Trump style, cites polling showing the head-to-head matchups and showing that he does better against Republicans in the head-to-head matchups. I know it's very, very early.
Yeah.
Do you believe that polling, and do you think Bernie would be stronger than Hillary?
No, I don't think these general election head-to-head matchups right now mean anything. I think one of the big challenges that Bernie Sanders would have if he were to be the nominee, first of all, he has extreme views. They are far outside the mainstream right now from where most Americans are. He's still a socialist. I think you've given the chance that given the fact that Hillary Clinton is more defined and Bernie Sanders is less defined with the national electorate, Republicans would much rather run against Bernie Sanders and have an ability to define him from the very get-go as extreme and out of touch.
Donna, let me ask you, because one of Hillary Clinton's closing arguments is, without question, that she has the experience and idealism's fine, but let's really actually get things done. Take a listen to Hillary Clinton in 2008.
Now, I could stand up here and say, let's just get everybody together. Let's get unified. The sky will open. The light will come down. Celestial choirs will be singing. And everyone will know we should do the right thing and the world will be perfect.
That was her argument against Barack Obama in 2008. She's making a similar argument, although not as snarky, in 2016. Mistake, or might it work this time?
Look, Hillary Clinton still came out in terms of the number of votes. She really did win in terms of votes. She lost delegates. She also had a strategy.
Not in Iowa, though.
Of course, she came in a close, third place, but right behind John Edwards by
You sound like Joe Lieberman.
I know. I've actually worked the caucuses, so I understand how it works. Look, hope and change is really what the Democratic Party is about. That's what motivates Democrats. Maybe fear and anger on the Republican side, with Donald Trump represent anger and Ted Cruz maybe fear. Hope is what Bernie represents. Bernie represents hope. You got to give him credit for that. But I think Hillary is trying to be the candidate of change, the one who says, I can get things done. No, don't have a heart. No, because I don't do CPR. She represents the candidate who will get things done for the middle class. She's not just promising relief. She's promising to act on these ideals. So that's the difference. That's the argument she's making. I don't know if it will work, but that's
here's the big problem with it. Just real quick, here's the big problem with it. It's anti-aspirational.
Yes.
It is a negative, mocking tone against people who have very high hopes and want this progressive warrior to come out of the democratic process, and that's why I think it's a risk for her.